Kings and queens, clash your swords. Yeah. You kings and queens already know.
100 kings and 100 queens.
Yeah. King Stevion checking in and in the building. All right, so what we're doing right now is going into this document, the Form 56F. Okay, so let me go on over here right now. Okay, as you see on the screen right there, Form 56F. Notice concerning fiduciary relationship of financial institution. Okay, and like I told the group, the straw man is not the financial institution. Okay, and you cannot make your straw man a financial institution if you haven't did an assumed name and stated that in the doggone document. So, and there's some other things that go with that if it was going to be one. And I'll share with you in a minute what you would have to do to make it one. You don't want to make your straw man one anyway, so throw that away. You make the estate one. Okay, so I know I said I was going to do a Form 56 video. This is that is this, and I said I was going to do one on the deed poll, but that ain't this and this ain't that, so you're going to have to wait on that. Okay, so we're going to get into the Form 56, and there's another 2 documents that go with this, and I will send all 3 out to the group by email blast. Okay, so what we're going to do here is we're running into stuff right now, but let's get on this document and start it all off. So we start off with the name of the person. The person is a corporation, and if you looked in the CFR codes and the USC codes, you will see clearly that a person is a corporation. All right, and that's what they're talking about here. All right, so your estate name goes first on line 1. Okay, and when you do your estate name, it has to be first, middle, last, and then you don't worry about putting the word estate. You don't worry about that because the IRS will do that automatically when you get apply for the name. All right, and it needs to be in what your mama gave you, not what your husband gave you. You can't take over his estate. The last name is the estate. Okay, because they say that's the slave name, but that last name is of your bloodline. If you married into the Williams, you don't take over the Williams and do an estate name on the Williams. Now you're trying to do what the man's supposed to do, or however you do it, vice versa. But anyway, you go with what your mama gave you. Okay, first, middle, and last. Okay, remember the first name is always the first and the middle. Okay, and then the last name is just what it is, the last name. That's the estate name. All right, so you're going to put the here you're going to put the estate number. Okay, now it says name of financial institution. Now when you see that financial institution, why are they asking for that address of the financial institution? Because that is what's on line 1. That's on line 1. Okay, now that's what certifies. That's what they're talking about here. Then you go down to, and you're going to put the address, full address. Then you come down to 4, okay? And that is the city, state, and zip. Do not put no zip exempt. Stop following these idiots out here putting zip exempt, because you're in the United States, corporation, business, whatever they fake land, doing commerce, okay? Now you're going to put your phone number of the bank or the financial institution, because the estate is acting as a what? Is acting as a institution, a financial institution. Okay, so that's what you want to put there. All right, so you come down to 6, and it says check the applicable box for the type of financial institution. Now, We're not dealing with the WIFIT yet. But when we deal with the WIFIT, then you will check thrift. Okay? Right now, you're dealing with a bank. Okay? So you're acting as a bank. Because the estate is going to transfer all these responsibilities and assets over to the foreign grantors trust. And that's when the foreign grantors trust start using the assets of the social, because the social transfers over to the estate, and the estate transfers it over to the 9-8, and it's foreign, and it keeps it away from the domestic thieves, these tax collectors. Okay? That's the purpose of doing this. Now, let's get over to the definition of thrift, because I know you see it on the screen up there. So we go over to thrift, and the AI is doing this. I don't know why Google then got so damn lazy. They talking about it's experimental. But the definition of thrift is a financial institution, is a savings and loan association. Savings and loan. So this is what your child support agency is. They are a loan company, okay? They're loaning the tax dollar to the being who they say owes child support, which they never gave it to them, okay? So when you have your WIFIT, which is the Wiley Hill Fixed Investment Trust, because this is what they do. They're investment companies. So they're investing in you, claiming they gave you a tax loan, and then they're making the lawful money off of it. And that's the profit that they make, and that is the gain that they're making that you put on the 8288A. Okay? All right? Not going to get too deep into that. But association that accepts deposits and provides loans, especially mortgages. Thrifts are also known as thrift institutions. Okay, so let's get out of that. Now, so we're checking a bank, and you know what a bank is. All right, so we're not going to be dealing with loans, okay, at all. Right, just the bank. All right, so we go down to 7. Check here if the finance institution is insolvent. It is not. You know what the word insolvent means. It is pretty much dead, out of business, going out of business, can't do you no good. Let's go over to the definition of insolvent. Unable to pay debts owed. So no, that's not what you're dealing with here. Because you're dealing with your gold and your silver and precious metal. So, yeah. All right, so let's go to 8. It says, enter the ending date of the financial institution's tax year, month, date, and year. So you put 12/30, I put 12/30/2025. Okay? All right? You might want to put 31. Most businesses end their tax year on the 31st of the end of man's corporate year. Okay? I put 30 because the hell with the 31st. You know, some things, a bunch of things I just do opposite. Day before, day after, a week later, a month after. That's how I do it, okay? But you can do it how you want it, but it's mainly the 31st, okay? Fiduciary's name. This is your 9-8 trust name, okay? 9-8 trust. First, middle, last, and the word trust at the end. So when you get your 9-8, that's how it goes. And we're talking about the name you were birthed with. What your mammy gave you, what your pappy gave you. That last name. Not what your husband gave you. Not what the Morris brothers gave you. Not what some Hebrew Israelite gave you. None of that. Go back with what they stole from you, because you're taking it back. In order to take it back, you must claim that name. How can you claim that name? Well, you do a common law copyright. You do an assumed name. You do the estate in that name. You do the trust in that name. Now, 1, 2, 3, 4 table legs, you claim the name. Okay? You're using it in commerce now, especially once you register it as a bank like what you're doing here. Okay? All right, you're also going to register your 9-8 and your estate WIFIT as a financial institution when you do the fins and gens. Okay? All that corresponds with what we're doing here. All right, so over on 10, you have the contact person. Now, this is where your king or queen name goes. Do not put the beneficiary name. Put the king or queen name. That's if your first name is Tasha, it'll be Ashahat, Queen Ashahat of the whatever your last name is, estate. Boom. Okay, and that's what goes in line 10. Okay, so you go into the address. That is the address, foreign address. Okay, that's the foreign address. So this is why you need that foreign address and need to make sure you have that forwarded to come back to the United States. So if you gave me the information where your address is currently, then the pastor over there will forward that mail to you in the United States. Okay? All right, but if you want to, you could still put the 9-8 trust name here and put your branch office. Make sure you put branch office and then put the same address you have up here on line 3, okay, and 4. Okay, give you that option there. All right, so on 14, you got receiver and conservator. Okay, so you are the receiver because you are the transferee that receives the instruments, and your job, this also certifies, and y'all need to notice on your form 56, once you have receiver on there, and on here we have the receiver. This certifies that you are the transferee. That means your job is to tax the one who transferred the instrument. So if you ever wind up in court, child support court, and they say, oh, you owe, no. I'm a tax collector. Here's my form 56. Here's my form 56F. It shows I'm the receiver, which is a transferee. Okay? So it's my job to tax you. Case closed. Pull out your fins and gens number, hit them with it, and make them run. Now, the conservator. Conservator is the protector. Okay? So you definitely want to check that, because it's your job as the 9-8 to protect what? The estate, the assets on the estate. Now, box 15 checks this box if the finance institution is or was a member of a group filing. The answer is no. So you're not going to do 15, 16, 17, or 18, or 19. Okay? And you're not going to do 20 either, or 21. So you're going to jump down to part 2, authority, where it says evidence of fiduciary authority. Check applicable boxes and attach copy of applicable orders. Those orders will be appointment of conservator, appointment of receiver, okay, which matches up top, okay. If you don't connect, reject. Then you have, so that's A, C, and E, which is you're going to check on this form 56, part 2. Other evidence of creation, okay, of fiduciary relationship. So you got your durable power of attorney. You're going to do a new durable power of attorney. You got to request that barcode when it's time, when you get on step 2. Don't do this earlier. Wait till you finish up with step 1 and your pre-steps before you go start moving with this, okay? For those that are on step 2 only, if you come to me and you're trying to get this stuff and you're not on step 2 yet, I'm going to kick your ass right on out the group, because you're jumping around. You just need to write this down. Make sure that you have this ready to go when you hit step 2. Okay? But you need to request the barcode for the durable power of attorney. It's a new one. It's not the same one. You cannot use the same barcode at all, because that barcode is registered to the living being. This one is registered to the estate and the 9-8. The 9-8 is over the estate. On the form 56, the king is over the living being that they're claiming is dead, which is the corporation man. So, then you got a declaration of estate. You probably say, King, what the hell is a declaration of an estate? It is an estate declaring that the king or the trust is over the assets and is in charge of running things, okay? is also stating that in the next one, which is the certification of trust, is stating that it is a pretty much a living trust, not a trust, but a revocable estate, a living estate, a financial institution. That's what these two things do here, showing what it is, showing how it's able to operate as a estate, as a financial institution, and why the trust is over the estate. Okay? And we're going to get into that in a minute. So part 3, tax notices. It says all notices and other written communications with regard to income, employment, and excise taxes of the financial institution listed on line 1. Okay, see? So right there they're telling you line 1 is the financial institution. Let's go back up here. So it's not a person. It's the estate. Okay? And I'm going to get to it in the certification of estate. You got declaration of trust. Here's declaration of estate. So let me put that. Declaration of estate, not trust. Sorry about that. All right, so you got a certification, had a certification too. I'm gonna put certification. Certification of estate. And you're not going to find one of these online either, because that's one of the creations that the 100 Kings and 100 Queens done. Okay? Okay, so yeah, that's that. And on here, you're going to put that. You're going to put attached foreign durable power of attorney plus declaration of estate, certification of estate, comma, foreign EAN number, and then you get the barcode from me. That's the one that goes with durable power of attorney, and you put it there. Actually, this right here need to be next to the durable power of attorney when you do this. So just make sure in parentheses you put the 13-digit EAN number that I give you for the estate and the 9(8), okay, for the Form 56, okay. So that's it. On the last part here, and you put your, on the title, fiduciary / executor, okay, fiduciary signature, and that will be your king or queen name. You date it, take it into the IRS building, have them stamp it, time stamp it, and get 2 certified copies. Okay? Make sure you give them copies of all of this. Declaration of estate, which has its own barcode. Certification of trust, which has its own barcode. Okay? So all 3 has different barcodes. Okay? So we're done with that. Make sure you read the instructions on here, because they're going to line up with everything that I said up here. Okay? So now we're going to go over to, the estate financial institution declaration indemnity agreement. Okay? You got people all the time talking about, oh, indemnity agreement. You know, what do they call that thing? They call it something else. An indemnity agreement is a declaration. Okay? A lot of them go around here talking about this indemnity bond. You know, an indemnity bond ain't no more than an agreement. An agreement ain't nothing but a bond, because you're bonded by an agreement. You see how they try to make this stuff sound so goddamn good? Oh, I got an indemnity bond. You so idiot. That's a damn contract. That's all it is. You got a contract with your bank. That's an indemnity contract. It's a contract saying what they're going to do, what you need to do. Okay? So don't let these people keep fooling y'all with this flashy goddamn words. Okay? All right, so here, y'all can take this off, these crowns off if you want to. It's up to you. Put your estate logo here or your trust logo. I would put both, be honest with you. I put my trust logo and my estate logo since it's an agreement between the two, okay? Or it can be just your trust, because your trust is making the agreement with the estate, okay? Or it can be the estate, okay? Because the estate is creating the trust, okay? The grantor is doing it, all right? So you come down here, it says this estate, financial institution, and indemnity agreement is made on the blank day of 2025, okay? Between, that's the name of your estate right here, and then it's the city, state, same thing that matches up with your Form 56, okay? That's the domestic address, and king or queen name, same address, same way we did the Form 56F, Form 56F. It says, whereas the estate financial institution is the shareholder / beneficial owner of the shares, okay? The estate is, because it distributes, it hires the trust to work it and give the benefits to the who? Beneficiaries. That's the purpose of it. Okay? You gotta understand, overstand the purpose of an estate, the trust, and the trustee, and the executor. Okay? The executor is hired by the trust. Okay? So it was working for the estate. The estate sent the executor over to the trust because it set up the trust, but the executor is still working for the trust as the trustee. Okay? Is he or she holding two positions? They could be, but that's why it falls all up under the trust. So your pay is double now. Keep that in mind. You got double pay because you're running the estate and the trust, right? And then when you work for the WIFIT, now you got another job. Okay, so you're getting paid 3 times now. Some of y'all might not even know that. Some of you think you're just getting paid fiduciary once. No, you're getting paid 3 times. Okay. The estate financial institution is the shareholder, beneficial owner of the shares of a company. The company specified in the first schedule here too. And down at the bottom, there's a schedule, okay, that you have to put because you date it, and put when this all starts, okay? 2. The estate financial institution has requested the executor to register the shares in the executor's name. And those shares are your barcode. Okay? That's the barcode. The executor has agreed to, at times required, to secondly hold, utilize, exercise, and carry the private name, that's your king name, to be nominated and appointed as director, executor, and also to hold the shares. That's right. So that way it prepares for distribution to the beneficiaries. 4. The registration, as aforesaid, was made to the executor as a nominee of the estate financial institution, and it was agreed that the executor should execute such declaration of estate financial institution as is hereinafter contained. Okay? And at the bottom you see it says estate declaration indemnity agreement. Now, this agreement witnessed as follows. 1. The executor hereby declares that it holds the shares and all dividends and interest accrue upon the same or any of them upon estate financial institution, for the estate financial institution and its successors in title, and agrees to transfer, pay and deal with the shares and the dividends and interest payable in respect of the same in such manners as the estate financial institution shall from time to time direct in writing. Okay? And you know that that's the job of the trustee to an executor to distribute any benefits to the beneficiary. 2. The executor will, at the request of the estate financial institution or its successors, in title, attend all meetings of shareholders, beneficiaries, or otherwise, which it shall be entitled to attend by virtue of being the registered proprietor of the shares or any of them, and will vote at every such meeting in such manner as the estate financial institution or its successors in title shall have previously directed in writing, and in default of such direction at the discretion of the executor, and further will, if so required by the estate financial institution or its successors in title, execute all proxies. See, because they're voting for the beneficiary, voting for the grantor, because the grantor gave all the power to that executor / trustee. That's what make it a proxy. That's what happened when y'all go voting for Biden, Trump, Kamala, whoever y'all voted for. See, if you're not one of the elect owning real estate and registered down at the county, then you're not one of the electoral votes. Okay? You're still dealing with proxies. All right? Or other documents which shall be necessary or proper to enable the estate financial institution, its personal representatives, or assigns, or their nominees to vote at any such meeting in the place of the executor. It's a lot. The executor shall, upon request, provide the estate financial institution or its successors in title with such information as may be available to the executor as a shareholder with regard to the operation of the estate / financial institution. Okay, and I'm not going to read all this. I'm going to skim through this. Okay, right here, you got to make sure you put your birth date. This agreement cancels all prior agreements before the below date and shall be governed by the laws of, put your birth date, including those of the U.S. Okay? In the event of any dispute or disputes arising from the interpretation of the provisions of this agreement, the parties hereto jointly and severally agree to resolve the dispute or disputes, if any, by means of legally binding arbitration in any of the birth state arbitration member centers offices. And this is between, again, the estate and the executor / trustee, which is in the trust. So to do it with the trust, the 9-8 trust, which the executive did it anyway, and the king, queen is still, not harmed. Okay? It's like a whole harmless agreement. Okay? But this is just saying, this is your job, this is what you have to do, this is what we're going to do. Okay? First schedule. Okay? So there it goes right there. Make sure you put the date, where all this stuff start here, and any description that you need to put. Okay? Class of shares, ordinary. Percentage of share capital, 100%. Okay? In your estate financial institution name, that's what goes there. That is your estate name, incorporated under the laws of, you put your birth state, definitely, because it's dealing with an estate. And then it says republic, whose registered office is at, and that's the same address. Take that off here. I'm going to take this 9998 off, because if you put 9998 on there, it goes to the general postmaster, and then you have to go to the counter and pick it up. So if those who were saying put 9998, 99999, that's what that means. Okay? That's why you ain't never get no mail. Declaration of estate, financial institution. Make sure you put the estate name right here. So everywhere where you see that at, that's where the name goes. Okay? All right? We, living man, name, that's the king or queen. And then you put the address, the People's Republic of, and then you put your birth state, Everything is pretty much self-explanatory here. Just fill in the yellow highlights. I already told you what to put up there. It's the same as down here. Okay. Same down here. And then you got your appellation. This is like the witness part right here, pretty much. Private part. And then you get to the public part. Now on here, you're going to have to do your own notary. You got to do your own notary. Okay? I told y'all that. Find the notary presentment in your state, and you're going to input it in here and fill that out, take it to your notary. Because I don't want to be responsible for anybody saying, oh, they didn't accept my notary part, my, whatever you call that other thing, jurat. All right, so we go over to the certificate of estate, which is a deed. Remember, before you do an assignment, let's go over here now. Let's go over here now because I'm breaking this down for you. This estate indemnity agreement is where the trustee right here or the executor is really being assigned. Saying, you know, he's held harmless is a binding agreement. The assignment of. So when can an assignment be made? 31 USC 3727. Okay, so the claim has to be made. This is the claim over here, the certification of estate. Certificate deed. Okay, now you got your claim. Then you go over here to the certification of, the declaration indemnity agreement, and you do your assignment. Even though over here, you do a small bit of the assignment on the certification of estate, because it states who is the executor. Okay. All right. So up here we got certificated deed, certification of estate, financial institution deed. Okay. And you can put your family estate or tribal logo there. Make sure you get another barcode. Remember I told you there's 3 barcodes that you must have. The undersigned executors of the, that's your first, middle, and last name, estate, confirm the following facts. Tells about the estate is in existence, that's the date. The settler, it ain't say no discharge, it says settler of the estate is or so. Who is that? That's the trust name, / the king or queen name. Okay. You got the executors, that's still the king or queen name in the 9-8. Also up here at your grantor's name. That's really it's the beneficiary name here. Okay. So the estate is a financial institution entity under the what? Consumer Financial Protection Bureau that engages in financial activity. Why is that there? Because it's certifying and stating that the estate is a financial institution. An estate can only be an financial institution under what? The Consumer Financial Protection Bureau. Okay, go look that up. That's how an estate is a financial institution. Okay, so 5. If there is a power to revoke the estate, the person holding the power to revoke it is the who? That's the grantor, because this is pretty much a living estate. Okay? Right? Or any executor, the grantor appoints and assigns to do so under this certificate, and as stated in the durable power of attorney in fact. And then you got your barcode right there, 13-digit barcode. Boom, that is a foreign barcode. Okay. If there are multiple estates, see, so now if Joe want to run his wife's estate, want to run his cousin's estate, that one estate, you know, can go for the whole entire tribe, but sometimes you marry into another tribe and they have a different last name, or some way they had different last names, you can take over those estates as well. Okay? Because you're already experienced in this. So one trust can have multiple estates under it that it runs. Okay? That's why you got what? Bank of America Trust, you got Wells Fargo Trust, and they have all these estates that's been appointed to them. Same scenario. Okay? If there are multiple estates, the signature authority is of the executors that, and then you put the full grantor's name there, appointed and or any estate the grantor appoints and assigns to do so. Okay? If there are multiple estates, the number of currently acting executors required to sign to exercise various powers of the estate is 1. Now you can always change that if you want. But if you do that, notice when you take your power of attorney to the IRS, that Form 56, they will reject it. Because they're going to be like, where's the other person? Okay? So leave that at 1. Later on down the line, you can add more than 1. Okay? So the estate identification number is, and that's where the tax ID number goes. Okay? The way in which title to estate assets should be taken is by assignment. Okay? See? Can't give away no assets, can't assign nothing to nobody without an assignment. 31 USC 3727. The estate has not been revoked, modified, or amended in any manner which would cause the representations contained in this certificate of estate to be incorrect. This certificate is being signed by all the current acting executors, which is only one of the estate. You date it, put your king, queen name there, sign it, right thumbprint, and then you come down here and you're going to do your notary. Remember, you're going to insert your notary for your state, birth state. These documents do have to be done in your birth state. Okay? Now, the ones you take to the IRS, you can get them done in any state, but you will have to have them done in your birth state as well. So you're going to need 2 sets if you're not living in your birth state, okay, of everything, okay? Except the IRS stuff, okay? The power of attorney, these things here, the indemnity and the certificate, those 3 things going to have to be done in your state, okay? Now, you're going to, if I was you, get these things authenticated for your foreign country. Okay? Because we're dealing with foreign stuff here. Okay? Certification, of a state financial institution declaration, indemnity agreement. Okay? And then what else we have here? Form 56F. So kings and queens, that is it. If you got any questions, hit me up, 850-322-9657. And if you don't, you ain't going to heaven. You're going to hell. You're going to hell because you ain't ring my bell. Anyway, if you use this information to get free, do not blame me. Blame the L, the O, the R, the D. Won't you do it? Oh yes, he'll do it. So what you need to do is get this knowledge and start to pursue it. I'm King Steph Young, representing the 100 Kings and the 100 Queens. I am out. All right, next video coming out. We're gonna do the depot. We're gonna do the breakdown of the depot. I might just release the one from the tax class, but I think I might just redo it and break it down for all of y'all, so that way y'all can understand it, okay? Because y'all need to see how it is, how it goes, what it's all about, where it comes from. A good breakdown, thorough breakdown of it, the history of it, because it's his story, not her story, or our story, okay? But some of our stories in now, because they stole it and rearranged it. Need to rearrange their face. But anyway, and then after that, we got part two of Tax Your Bill Collectors. I know y'all been waiting on it. Tax Your Bill Collectors. Okay? Now, again, if you haven't ordered the trust tax class, it is $125. The PayPal is paypal.me/STT Estate Trust. It's $125. Make sure you put your name in that box. Make sure you also put your phone number and make sure your address up to date on PayPal. Okay? And put that you're purchasing the tax class, trust tax class. Okay? And I'll mail that out. All right? And those who are waiting for their USBs, I'm working on that now, trying to get these videos out, keep y'all educated, keeping y'all filled up, jumping back and forth, doing the USBs and this, okay? So I'm very busy, okay? And also I got to put my meditation in there. Got to get the meditation in there and the rest, all right? I stay up about 12 hours doing this work, okay? So please be patient with me, all right? I'm King Stevion. I'm out. Peace.